Hello. I used to write you letters about our trips to different orphanages, but this time we decided to use new technologies and write a video letter. And I want to tell you about our trip to Western Ukraine. And it was very interesting that in the spring, one friend from America gave us a call and said that he would love to help one orphanage in Western Ukraine. And we thought, well, we'll try to find out if there is any orphanage that would really appreciate this help. And we used all our connections to find one. And thanks to that American friend, we were able to get enough gasoline and find a place to stay. And we got all our kids together, got into the van, and went to Western Ukraine. It took us about 9 hours drive over there, and the road was difficult at times. And if you guys have ever been to Ukraine, you know what I'm speaking about. But it was very picturesque, and it was very nice to see the Ukrainian villages and the real life. And I'm sure you will see several pictures of the scenes that we saw on the way. Of course, kids were excited to go with us, and they got some toys and some soccer balls to bring to the orphans. And we also had some donations from the States, several soccer balls, some clothing, and some funds, some money. So we got into that little city, the little village, and we found that orphanage. But it was very interesting to mention that on the way we saw so many beautiful churches and crosses and the statues of Jesus Christ and Mother Mary, and even we saw several groups of people marching with flags, and they were carrying the pictures of Jesus Christ and the pictures of Mary, and they were celebrating some Christian holidays. And we were very excited to see that, because it shows you that these people are really, really religious. And of course you would expect them to help out the orphans, so we had our hopes really high that this orphanage that we're looking for will be in good hands, that Christians would be really helpful there. So anyways, we got to that orphanage and we met the director. He was meeting us at the front entrance, and the building is huge and it seemed really nice. And the director told us this building is actually from the 19th century, and we were very curious to see how it looks inside. And of course, as most of the institutions like this, the director explained that it was all colored black and it had bars on the windows. So these people, these children, the orphans with disabilities, they were not considered people at the Soviet times. So they were kept in these conditions. And when this director became a director of that orphanage, he changed it all. He painted the walls in a nice blue color. He removed all the bars, and he was explaining to the caregivers that these children, even having those disabilities, they are still people and they need to be treated as people and taken the best care as possible. So it was very nice to see that he was caring for these children. And of course, he told the kids that we were coming, and some of them were crawling, some were in the wheelchairs, but they were also excited to greet us at the front entrance. And right away they were smiling and giving hugs and saying us that they were telling us, well, how beautiful you are, thank you so much for coming, and you're so kind and so nice. And it was very heartbreaking to see their disabilities, but their really warm hearts. So, and when we got in, we saw all kinds of disabled kids. Some of them were able to walk. As I said, others were crawling, some were in the wheelchairs, but there were several groups of kids who were staying in beds, and they basically had no one to take them outside. So basically their entire life they had to spend in their rooms, in their beds. And as I have told you, the conditions are not the best. And due to this director, it is getting better, but still the economical situation in Ukraine does not allow the director to take the proper care. They have no diapers at all. Even if in some of the orphanage we see, they have 1 or 2 diapers per day, and that orphanage they just use clothes, rags, and these caregivers have nothing else to do but to change those rags and wash them and put them back. But the kids were smiling, and their faces, they were so bright, and their eyes were so happy. And the director said that they hardly ever have anyone come to visit them, so they are excited to see any guests around. And as I said, we were really hoping that Christians of that area are helpful. But the director said, unfortunately, there are 3 major big churches around, and they're so busy with their own things, and they're not really involved into helping the orphanage. So that was kind of heartbreaking. And what we saw is that the kids, of course, do not get enough nutrition, and they do not get any fresh air. And you could tell they were so pale. And fortunately, they have their own bakery, and they make their own bread. And the director was so good. He had several cows, so they have fresh milk and some other milk products. But this is basically all they get, and they practically starving over there. I also want to tell you several stories about several kids, and one guy who was meeting us at the front entrance when we just came. Unfortunately, he was wearing like the older slippers tied with a rubber band, and he asked if we were coming again, if we could bring him slippers or like tennis shoes. There was another guy who he's developing normally, but he's an orphan, and he said that he was abandoned when he was young, and he has no family. And he said, well, please come again, just be my family. I really need someone. He said, like, I really need someone close to my heart. And there was another girl. We were really impressed with her. She was painting, and she was holding her brush in her mouth, and her paintings are so beautiful, and I'm amazed how she could do that. And also she was reciting poems, and that was those were long poems, so she has a memory. There was another guy. It was so touching. His friends, he's in the wheelchair, and his friends, helped him outside to talk to us, just to greet us. And he said, well, see, I have a CD player, and I have several CDs of music. Would you please come back and bring me more music? I want to have connections to the outer world. And we had several CDs with us, and our kids said, well, it will be so exciting. We have this CD with a Christian, it's a Christian story for children, basically sharing the gospel. And the kids said, well, let's give it to him. And it was so kind of our children, because they do love the CD and the story, and they used to listen to the story all the time when we were driving. So they gave it to him, and he was so thankful. And we had some CDs with Ukrainian music, and he loved it. So we had those really neat experience, but unfortunately we saw the problems that they were facing. Not enough food, not enough wheelchairs or other therapeutical equipment to help them develop their skills. And unfortunately they have no one visiting them on a regular basis just to help them develop their social skills. So these are the children of the older age, starting from 6 to 35, and they basically have no chances to be adopted. But at least we could come once in a while to bring some love with us, to bring some gifts, just share our hearts with them. And we're so grateful to this person who helped us go there. So we really want to thank Christopher Moles for providing the means for our family to go there, to open the doors to this orphanage, to meet the director, to meet the administration. And when on the way back home, we were driving in a car, and all the way we were speaking to each other and to our children how important it is to be involved into the lives of people who are deprived of love, who are deprived of care, and who are deprived of true family. So we made a decision that if God called us at one point to this place, if He gave us responsibility to be there to see this need, we are to come back, to bring people, to spread the word about it, so that people will know that these children exist, and we need to help them as much as we can. Just help them with their material and physical needs, and also share our hearts and our love with them. So, and as I said, we really want to go back to this orphanage as soon as possible, and also we're thinking and planning and going there next summer, the summer 2012, and we really want to invite you and all your friends to come with us, to join us with this project, and do everything possible we can if God is calling us. So we really remember that guy who asked for the Bible with the pictures. We remember the guy who asked for the slippers or the tennis shoes, and we remember that person who asked us for the CDs with music to be connected to the outer world. So we want to collect all these things together, get the whole team of Americans, Ukrainians, and whoever wants to join in, and we want to be there and to be ambassadors of Jesus Christ and to serve for God's glory.